Good morning, guys. Today I'm going to explain you a bit about absolute value. Okay, this is the introduction you have on page 355. And well, let's start reading. In this case, we are going to be talking about distances in order to explain better the meaning of an absolute value. In this case, the distance between a number and zero on a number line is called absolute value. Look at this number line. Look at exercise 1. Each mark you see on the number line indicates 1 yard. Now, firstly, you have to draw a tree 3 yards west of the house. This is the house. So as you can see, each of the marks represents 1 yard. So you have to count 1, 2, and 3. And this is where you are supposed to draw a tree. Now, in the second part, you have to draw a mailbox 3 yards east of the house. Again, let's count 1 yard, 2, and 3. And here's the mailbox. Now, look at the second statement. The distance between the house and the tree is equal to the distance between the house and the mailbox. They are the same distance far away, right? Look at statement number 3. The tree and the mailbox are in opposite directions from the house. This is what I want you to notice. They are the same distance. Nevertheless, they are in opposite directions. Now, here you have a question. How does the number line above help you to understand absolute value? Well, the house, as you can see, this is the house, represents the value of 0. Some of you were asking me, you didn't understand the meaning of 0. Well, the 0 is the starting point where you can locate two opposites, right? Now, the tree and mailbox are the same distance from the house, but different directions. That is absolute value. The total amount, the total number starting at a distance of 0. It doesn't matter if the value is positive or negative. Okay? Now, here we have another problem about Jessie. Supposedly this is Jessie. Jessie leaves home and walks 4 blocks west to the grocery store, then to buy milk, and then returns home. He then walks another 4 blocks east to the post office. Compare the distance and the direction of Jesse's house and the post office from the grocery store. If you help yourself with the number line, you will see that they are 4 blocks from the store in opposite directions. It is the same, okay? So this is the introduction of the lesson, and now I will continue explaining some examples. Okay, now I'm going to explain about finding opposites on a number line. Look, you may have either positive or negative numbers. An example of a positive number is 2, and these positive numbers are graphed to the right or above 0 on a number line. Look, here you have the value of 0, and here, as you can see, you have your positive numbers. Okay? Now, negative numbers such as -2 are graphed to the left or below 0 on a number line. Here's the value of 0, and here you begin locating negative numbers such as -1, -2, and so on. Now, what about opposites? Opposites are numbers that are the same distance from 0 in opposite directions, like the exercise we did before, okay? Now, 0 is not negative nor positive. it is its own opposite. Okay? Now, what about the opposite of a number? This is the number itself. For example, if you see a statement that tells you find the opposite of 3. Now, here you have to, you will see these type of expressions. The negative symbol, the negative number in parentheses. It means, so this expression means that you have to find the opposite of this number. In this case, the opposite of negative 3 is 3. Now, in example number 1, you have to find the opposite of negative 5. Okay? The method 1 is explained with a number line. Now, look, firstly, you have to draw a number line and graph negative 5. Okay? Here you have the number line, and here you have negative 5. Okay? Now, you are supposed to count 5 spaces to see the negative number. Now, which would be the opposite of -5, of a negative 5? Well, it's the same, but counting to the right 5 spaces. In this case, 5 is the opposite of negative 5. Okay? Now, another method is using symbols. The integer negative 5 uses the negative symbol because it's a negative number. The opposite of a negative symbol is a positive symbol. For example, in conclusion, the opposite of negative 5 is 5. In this case, they have the positive symbol here, or without the positive symbol. It is not necessary, listen carefully, it is not necessary to write the symbol, the positive symbol. Okay? You can just write the number, and it is implied that the number is positive. Okay? Now, to pay attention to this, because this is about opposites of opposites. Here you have to find the opposite of 4. Okay? Firstly, you have here number 4, right? 0, 4 spaces, and you have 4. Now, the opposite of 4 would be -4. And the opposite of -4 would be 4. So, 4 is the opposite of 4. I know it sounds strange, but if you check it with your number line, I swear you will find sense on it. Okay? Look at the first questions, question A and question B. What's the opposite of 3? Here the answer is -3. Why -3? Because if you use a number line, you locate 3, 1, 2, 3 spaces, 1, 2, and 3 spaces, but as a negative number. That's why opposite of 3 is -3. Now, what's the opposite of -2? Now, let's find it out in our number line, 1 and 2. Okay? This is my negative number. The opposite of -2 would be 2, right? And the opposite of 2 would be, again, -2, right? Okay, let's continue with some other examples on the next page. Guys, let's continue. Now we are going to evaluate some expressions. What is this? Let's continue. Absolute value. In conclusion, what is the absolute value? The absolute value of a number is the distance between the number and 0 on a number line. Here you have a model similar to the ones on the previous page. Here you have the 0 point and a -4. The opposite of -4 would be 4, but in positive. Okay? Now, using symbols. This is like a sort of parenthesis that is read absolute value of -4. Okay? So when you see this expression, it is read absolute value of -4, or in this case absolute value of 4, because this is positive and this is negative. See the difference? Now, the absolute value of 4 is 4. The absolute value of -4 is 4. The absolute value must be always in positive, not in negative. That's why you see it's kind of inverted. Okay, look at the example number 3. Here you have to evaluate the absolute value of -7. Okay, so at a starting point 0, you have to count the 7 spaces in order to get to -7. So the absolute value of -7 is 7, because 7 units were moved to the left, right? Look at the letters in blue. The graph of -7 is 7 units from 0 on the number line. That's why it's 7 in positive, right? Now, look at example number 4. Evaluate the absolute value of 5 plus -6. Look at the process. Firstly, we are going to add 5 plus 6, okay? 5 plus 6. 5 plus 6 equals 11. The absolute value of 5 is 5. The absolute value of -6 is 6. And now simplify. Simplify, well, means to add in this case, because you have the symbol of addition. Okay? Let's try with another example. Here you have to find the absolute value of -7 minus 3. Okay? Now, find the absolute value of -7 and 3. The absolute value of -7 is 7. The absolute value of 3 is 3. Now we are going to subtract or simplify as it said. 7 minus 3 equals 4. Okay? It means that the absolute value of -7 minus 3 equals 4. Okay? Look at these examples. Letter C. Evaluate the absolute value of 14. It'll be 14. No problem with that. Remember, absolute values must be always in positive. Letter D. -9. Evaluate the absolute value of -9 plus 3. In this case, which is the absolute value of -9? 9. The absolute value of -9 is 9. Okay? Now, let's add it with the absolute value of 3. The absolute value of 3 equals 3. Now, let's simplify. 9 plus 3 equals 12. Okay? Now, let's continue. Letter E. Find the absolute value of -4 minus -2. Now, which is the absolute value of -8? Yes, it's 8. Now, subtraction symbol. Which is the absolute value of -2? Well, it's 2. Remember, absolute values of numbers are always in positive. or 0 in this case. It'll be positive 2. 8 minus 2 equals 6, right? I hope you have understood, because now it's your turn to practice. I will be online. You already have the schedule, so in case you have any question, you can contact me and I will explain you again. Thank you guys for your attention, and see you soon.